Opinions with Hum. Visit shophum.com. Flexify Europe Limited, trading as Hum, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Go loud. Sounds better with us. You're very welcome to this latest Opinions Matter podcast with Adrian and Jeremy, recorded live at our studio at the White Sands Hotel in Portmarnock in North County Dublin. We have an interesting topic coming up for you in a couple of minutes, especially if you are a parent who's planning to go on holidays with the kids over the summer months. You'll definitely be interested in this conversation in a second. But before I let you know exactly what we want to talk about, we want to give a huge shout out to our current show sponsors, and they are Hum Finance. Now, with Hum Finance, you can spread the cost of purchases up to €30,000 when buying online or in store from any of their retail partners. And Jeremy, it's a great service. What Hum do, it really is.
Yeah, but my wife was telling me that a lot of her clients in her vets use it for veterinary bills. As you know, veterinary bills can be very, very expensive. If your little pooch needs his teeth done, and he can't afford to go to Turkey to get his teeth done.
No, I'm sure he can't.
And he can only go to the local vets. That can be an expensive bill, and you can use Hum for vet bills. Also, I want to say this as well, because people are asking how difficult is it to use Hum. And I don't mean this in a bad way. Our Katie, who works on the show, wouldn't be the brightest.
You can't say that.
No, you can't. It's part of the ad. Our Katie wouldn't be the brightest bulb.
But she even took out a Hum
she wouldn't be the
finance.
Brightest, she wouldn't be the brightest bulb in the chandelier. But she was able to do it a couple of weeks ago to buy herself an iPad Pro, which is amazing because iPad Pros, how much are they?
Well, they're over $1,000.
Is that how much they are?
Yeah, they are, yeah.
You have two of them.
I've only one, no?
From Hum.
I've only one.
From Hum.
Yes, correct.
So if our Katie can use Hum, you can too.
If you would like to find out more, Hum basically help you manage your finances and make larger purchases more affordable. With Hum, it's very simple. You can get approval through their website, shophum.com, or apply directly in store. And Flexify Europe, trading as Hum, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. So what do we want to talk about on this latest episode of Opinions Matter? We got this message, and it says as follows. Lads, I haven't been on with you in a while, but would love to hear you.
Morning everyone. I'm bored of the sound of my own voice, so I'm on some wedding cake at the minute. I've only got one joint left of it, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of the day, but I've already had one, cut the grass outside, blah blah blah. I get bored of my own fucking, it's very quiet out here when I'm talking to you, so good morning Jolene, Ant, what's happening? Scott is in there. We got Conan in there. Good morning, everybody. Just something different in it than listening to me. I'll have to, Jolene, that's exactly it. I'll have to get you to add me on Insta, or I'll try add you on Insta, Scott, and we can fucking see some pictures.
Discuss this. I flew in from Salou last night. I took the twins away for 6 days. They are both 10. Where we stayed was mostly Irish families, but I was disgusted by the drunken behaviour of some of the families. Two in particular who we got chatting to, they were from Shankill. They had 7 kids between them all, and they were all under 10, and they were pissed every night in the hotel bar. Proper pissed, like. They were so pissed on the last night that hotel security had to tell them to calm down. All in front of their children. This is absolutely disgusting. I had maybe a couple of drinks because it was a family holiday. These two families thought they were on a stag weekend. How neglectful. Highlight this, please. It really, really upset me. And that is from a lady called Sabrina. So Sabrina is upset over the fact that other people were having a good time in their holiday. That's really it. She's upset that other people were having a good time in their holiday.
I was debating before we came on here. I was saying, will I open my mouth? Because I don't want to be predictable. Those of you who listen to the podcast regularly, who listen to me over the years, know my opinions on alcohol and stuff like that. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but those families are scum.
You don't want to sound like a broken record, but those families were scum.
I haven't said that before. That's my first time saying it.
Okay, so these families were...
Yeah, but let me, so don't ask my opinion and then shut me up.
They were in the hotel bar. They were in the bar in the hotel. Yeah, they didn't. They weren't on the strip dragging the kids through the strip. They were in the bar in the hotel, and obviously entertainment on in the hotel and whatever.
Okay, now first of all, I'm not a fuddy duddy. Before we before we had kids, just give me a free space to speak there. Before we had kids, we went on many holidays, and we got drunk on those holidays because getting drunk is part of a holiday. I agree with that. Okay, so before anybody says I'm anti-drink or I'm a fuddy duddy or I'm a boring shite, absolutely not. You were away with me in a beat when I was swigging a bottle of peach schnapps in the middle of the street.
Wow.
Pissing up against bins and stuff like that, jumping in fountains and all that. I did all that stuff. But when you have kids,
life stops.
No, life doesn't stop. Life changes. And the key word here is, family holiday. When it is a family holiday, you have to put your kids first. And 3 years ago, we were in Ibiza. I can't remember the name of the resort in Ibiza. We were in a resort in Ibiza on holidays, and it was an all-inclusive. And the bar would be packed every evening. As soon as people hear free drink, and it was Irish people, and it'd be packed every evening with them pouring out their San Miguel, and they would be absolutely pissed, like Sabrina's story, pissed every night with kids in their care. And you would never see them the next morning. You would never see them down for breakfast, or you'd see them coming down late because they were dying with a hangover. I'm sorry, when you have kids, when you are bringing them on holidays, it is a family holiday, and drink and families do not.
Okay, let's talk about this for a second.
You're going to ask me, I'm going on holidays in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Will I be drinking? Maybe two.
Maybe two.
Put it this way, I will never drink to the point that it would change my personality or that the kids would notice that. Because when you were a kid, you remember, when you were a kid, you know when your parents were drunk. You do, don't you?
Yeah.
So you can smile because their daddy's acting silly or mommy's acting silly.
Yeah, so what?
I will never ever be drunk in front of my kids until they're at a drink.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. So the hotel these people from Shankill were in was obviously the hotel bar.
By the way, Shankill.
Why? What about Shankill?
I'm just saying, no surprise. Go on.
Anyway, the hotel that these people were in had entertainment on every night, and obviously the families. What I'm getting at is, what else is there to do with kids on a holiday?
My God, well, how do pioneers survive on holidays?
No, I'm saying they're in a bar for the entertainment in the evening. What else is there to do in the evening?
You can have non-alcoholic drink. It is possible. Their hotel last year had non-alcoholic cocktails. They're absolutely lovely. So every night, myself and my wife would, because we had the drinks package, we would order 2 pina coladas each, and that would be it. After that, then we would move on to non-alcoholic cocktails. We had the best holiday ever because we weren't waking.
No, that's brilliant. I'm delighted for you. Well done. Happy days. But for some people, they like to have a few drinks on their holidays. And maybe I wouldn't think it's right for both Mammy and Daddy to be pissed on the holiday.
I don't think a child should ever see you drunk. That is the bottom line. A child should never see a parent drunk. And if you are one of those parents, if you are one of those parents, shame on you. And if you want to go on a piss up holiday, fair enough. Leave the kids at home. Go during school term and go to Benidorm and get your 10 drinks for a £5 and absolutely get shit-faced. I wouldn't judge you. At all. Yeah. But when you have children, especially young children, it's not a piss-up holiday.
Says you.
No. Says everybody. Says everybody.
No, not everybody. Absolutely not everybody. We would love to hear from you on this. Our number is 085 825 2626.
Why do you honestly think? And here's
what I said there a second ago is I don't think it's right for both parents to be pissed. Okay, I think that's you need one person who is responsible. But I don't see the harm in Mammy and Daddy having a few drinks and maybe one of them having a few too many. I really don't. It's part of life. Even for the kids to see Mammy and Daddy with drink on them.
So it's okay, is it?
It's okay. It's not okay for both. It's not okay for both to be drunk.
No, one's as bad as the other.
Are you enjoying the radio instead of listening to me shiting on? Everybody, wake and bake. Everyone, if you're not waking and baking, just be happy. Be happy. See, we're happy because we're waking and baking, and that's what you're missing out on. You know what I mean? So, everybody, good morning, good night. I know it's night time where you are straight. It's about 9 o'clock. John O'Conan, Fable, Jolene, Everybody in here, there's 30, well, there's 18 people now since I started talking. Fuck that. There was 35 a minute ago. Fuck's sake.
In fact, one of the nights on holidays last year, as you know, because I was telling you about it, one of the nights on holidays, our young fella was playing on the slide in the hotel, and he ended up falling and hurting his arm. I had to hop in the car and bring him to the emergency clinic because we thought he was after fracturing his arm. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was drunk.
When you would just hopped in the taxi. Most people don't hire a car when they're on holidays. You just hopped in the taxi.
Well, it was
no
easy
big deal.
to have the car.
085 825 2626 is our number. Let me kick off with Trev.
What's Dolly Boys, Trevor here. Oh, fucking Jeremy's going to be in his absolute fucking element today, isn't he? With his sneaky little vodka and coke, hiding it on the kids under the table while they're in the pool. Oh, Jesus Christ. Lads, I've been away with my kids. I go away probably 4 times a year with them. I always have a few scoops. Never get locked. Just enough to have a little buzz on. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I've never lost track of me kids. And they've never said to me, Dad, you're ruining their fun by having a drink. But again, I'm sure he'll get the fucking snowflakes on siding with Jeremy and all this. Oh, just have a little virgin daiquiri. Fuck off, you jumped up snobs. All the best.
Francis, you're on Opinions Matter. Hiya, Francis.
Hiya, Grandad. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks very much indeed, Francis. For those of you who don't know what she's talking about, I became a granddad last week for the first time.
So. A lovely feeling, isn't it?
A lovely feeling, it really is.
Yeah.
And maybe in time I'll take that grandchild on a holiday and might have a drink while I'm at it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope not.
So you don't believe that parents should be drinking if they're on a family holiday with the kids?
No. My husband never liked to fly, and he never liked to go on the boat. And I'm going back, go a few years. So I took my 3 children to Lanzarote, to Disney World, in America, and I brought them everywhere. I didn't drink.
Because you were on your own, Francis. There wasn't 2 of you. There was just you.
Yeah, it was just me. And my children had each brought a friend with them. So, I had 6 children to watch. So we did go to shows at night. I had a Coke, and I didn't really relax because I don't like being out of the country. But if I had taken a drink, I probably would have relaxed. Or if I had taken 1, I would have taken 10. So I didn't, I decided not to drink. But then,
and that's fine, Francis, and I understand why you might have made that decision, because it was you on your own with the responsibility for a load of kids by the sounds of it. That's very, very different to a situation where Mammy and Daddy are on a holiday, they're in the hotel bar, because there isn't much else to do in the evenings, except go to a bar where there's some sort of entertainment on. And I'm sure, Jeremy, you have done that yourself. You've gone to bars at night with the kids because there is nothing much more to do.
Everybody goes, yeah,
that's where everybody goes.
But you don't need alcohol.
I'm saying it's not. I don't think it's right for Mammy and Daddy to both get locked out of their heads. You need one of them with a level head. But I don't see the harm in one of them having a few drinks.
Well, the last of our holidays, when they were getting bigger, 13 and 14, they were bringing more with them. So we started going to Butlins, if you remember Butlins.
I remember it well. And again, like that in Butlins back in the day, the only thing to do at night was the evening entertainment, and that was always in a bar, and you have a few drinks.
During the day, the cans were stacked up outside the shallies. Right up nearly to the top that they had bought on the duty free. The mothers and fathers were killing each other. This was during the day. It was horrible. There was kids going missing. Now, there wasn't any of the things back then. If the kids went missing, they would probably just someone else's shelly. But that went on 24/7 in Butlins. Everyone was drunk every night of the week they were there.
And again, Francis, that's wrong as well. That's so over the top. I'm talking about Mammy and Daddy are out with the kids. They're at an entertainment show and they have a few drinks, and maybe Daddy has a few more than Mammy. And I just don't see why people make such a big deal of it. Jeremy, you're implying that having a drink in front of your kids will ruin the kids' holiday.
My daughter and her the father of her son, they haven't been together for 5 years, but they've always went on holidays. They're co-parenting, and they go on holidays and they go down to the places where all the fun things are, and you might have one or two, maybe 4 drinks, and Neil will get up and do things, funny things, and so will Stephanie. The child has never seen either of them drinking only on holidays. So in the evening time then, they go out for dinner and they have a few drinks, and then they go up and they get Hugo to bed, and then they go out on the balcony and have a few drinks, and twice or 3 times they got rat-arsed, but it was in the apartment that he did it, but he did.
Okay, there are people who think that is irresponsible as well. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you on this on 085 825 2626. Lauren, you're on Opinions Matter. How are you, Lauren?
Hey, all good.
Well, Lauren, is it okay for Mammy and Daddy to have a few drinks when they are on holidays, or should, as Jeremy said, you just have 2 drinks? You'll ruin the kids' holiday otherwise.
Yeah, well, look, I always brought my kids away when they were younger, and we weren't big drinkers, so I didn't really drink at all when the kids were younger away. But I think that was just down to choice. It wasn't like I wasn't consciously not having a couple of drinks. Their dad might have had 1 or 2. But that was it. Now, I was away, my kids are a little bit older now, so we were away in February in Portugal, and I was away with my friend and a few of the kids, and I did get a little bit drunk. They're teenagers now, so I don't, it doesn't bother me as much doing it now, and it doesn't bother them, so I did have a few drinks.
Shame on you, Lauren, shame on you.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying just don't be drunk. If people can't work out the difference between having a drink and being drunk, then you're very stupid. I'm talking about...
You said don't have more than 2 drinks. That's what you said.
That'd be my yardstick.
And that's fine. You do you. But it's the judging other people is what I have the issue with. Other people who want to have a few drinks. I don't think children...
It's not nice for a child to see a parent drunk. I'm
not talking about crawling on your hands and knees, vomiting on the floor. I'm talking about...
Do you think there's no in-between between not having a drink and then crawling on your face? There is an in-between.
I don't see an issue with somebody having a few drinks. I just don't see... I don't think kids are scarred. I'm not talking about being politically drunk. I'm talking about being a bit merry from
No, I don't think you should see their parents like that.
Ever.
No, I think when they're small, when they're really small, yeah, I think obviously you have to have your wits about you, you know what I mean? I think that's different if they are little small kids, but when they're a little bit older, I think, I don't see the issue, No,
I don't myself. Again, I don't think both Mammy and Daddy should be getting drunk at the same time. I don't see an issue with one of them having a few drinks. But again, I'm not talking about Mammy or Daddy being absolutely shit-faced to the point that they're comatose.
Okay, but if you get to, would you not agree, Lauren? If you get to the point where you're hungover the next day, that you're after having too much to drink. If you're hungover the next day,
I think if you're hungover the next day, you're ruining the holiday. You know what I mean? I would go away and I would walk it that I don't have a hangover. I kind of learned how to what my limit is. But the last thing you want is a hangover the next day, obviously.
All right, stay there for 1 second if you can, please. Our number is 085 825 2626. This is Emma.
Hey guys, well firstly I don't think Jeremy can say that they didn't come down for breakfast because they were hungover. Maybe they didn't come down for breakfast because they worked all year round and this was their holiday, so they wanted a lie-in. So you can't just presume that. But secondly, I do agree with you in the sense that if it's a family holiday and the 2 parents are there, one night one parent has her drinks, his drinks, gets drunk, whatever, but the other person has 1, maybe 2 drinks just in case of an emergency. That's the only reason that I don't think the 2 of them should be drinking together on holidays. Imagine a child fell, got really sick, you had to go to hospital, all of a sudden you have 2 drunk parents in the hospital trying to deal with this. You have to have one parent sober all the time. On holidays, being nice in general, to be honest, just in case of emergencies, but definitely on holidays, because if you're both drunk, say here in Ireland, you can ring a family member, be like, Jesus, Jimmy's after falling, I need to go to the hospital, whatever. But when you're abroad, you don't really have anyone else with you. So definitely one person can get drunk, one person should stay sober, and the other, and then it should be reversed every night or every second night, whatever.
It's the Opinions Matter podcast with Adrian Kennedy and Jeremy Dixon a podcast from Ireland with a difference.
Need something now but want to spread the cost? With Hum, you can shop at thousands of stores with easy, flexible payments. No hidden fees, no stress. Apply today at shophum.com. More life for your money. Flexify Europe Limited, trading as Hum, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Jess, you're on Opinions Matter. How are you, Jess?
How is?
Well, Jess, is it okay, or would you condemn parents who have a drink with their kids on holidays?
If they're getting absolutely paralytic on drunk, yeah, I'm going to say you're a shit parent. Why would you even book a family holiday if you're just planning on getting drunk and having hangovers the next morning?
Okay.
How hard is it just to have one or two and then say, right, that's it, because I need to keep my wits about me?
Okay, well, here's what we know of this story from Salou. They had 7 kids between them, all under 10, and were pissed every night in the hotel bar. They were so pissed on the last night that the hotel security had to tell them to calm down, all in front of their children.
Yeah, you can imagine the types of people they are. They're probably running around. You have little Warren running around causing mayhem. I'm not drunk with you, fuck off. I can imagine them.
No, I can hear it myself. And again, my issue is this whole thing that if you're on holidays with the kids, that's it. Just don't drink. You can't. It's so irresponsible.
No one's saying you can't. But just have a bit of common sense. Have one or two. Because, like Emma and everyone else said before me, you don't know what could happen. There could be an accident. And why are we actually normalising taking turns having hangovers? Ah, yeah, I got drunk last night, so now it's your turn to get drunk. Why can't you not just both have one or two and be sober for the rest of the night? The fact we're actually saying, take turns, well, just fuck off.
Okay, but what damage do you think you're doing to your children by having a few drinks? Honestly, now, I'm asking that a genuine question.
What, to the point that you're getting sick?
No, not to the point that you're getting sick. No, not to the point that you're in a coma on the floor. I'm talking about being merry, basically.
Yeah, 1 or 2 isn't going to do much damage. 1 or 2 isn't going to hurt. But if you need to go to 4, 5, 6, 7 drinks, there's a problem. Why are you trying to ruin the holiday for the kids? Why even book a family holiday if all you planned on doing every night was getting absolutely locked? What was the point of booking a family holiday then?
Okay, well, have a listen to this message from Tina and see what you make of this, okay? It says, I'd love to come on, but I'm in work. I'm just back from Torremolinos. There was a family staying in the apartments, about 25 of them, pissed every night. On the last Friday, they got drunk and got in a fight with English tourists. Police had to be called. 2 of them got arrested and their kids were crying. Absolute scum. Now, Tina, I would agree with you. That is absolute scum.
But that is a result of drink. People, yes, it is a result of drink. That the common.
Jeremy, I've been drunk. I've never been in a fight in all my life.
They were drunk, and that's why they were in a fight. The common denominator in all
this is such an extreme. Is the point I'm trying to make? Okay.
Are you telling me that doesn't normally happen? I bet that happens more times than we want to admit.
Well, when there's kids around, no, I wouldn't say it happens that often.
I'd say I will, because it tends to be the same type of people.
Again, Jeremy, that's a very extreme example. That's not a mammy and daddy out at a drag show like you were talking about on a recent podcast. With the kids, having a great night, and daddy has a few points and gets a bit merry. That's different to this extreme from Tina.
All I'm saying is, the common denominator with all these stories is alcohol. Alcohol is the common. That fight would not have happened.
No, that's absolute scumbags.
Yes, scumbags.
That's nothing to do with drink.
Yes, it is.
They're scumbags anyway.
No,
they started a fight on English tourists. They're scum anyway.
Because of drink.
No, they're bigger scumbags on drink.
Yes.
That's what they are. They're bigger scumbags on drink.
How are you not getting that, Adrian? Why do most fights...
Why are we using such an extreme example to condemn a parent who might have a couple of...
But why are we...
couple of drinks and sit there looking at a bloody drag show?
Because they're probably the same type of people who will start a fight.
Yeah, like
if the security guard is telling them to calm down, you can just imagine all them being like, would you fuck, I'll go wild, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, exactly. I've never seen a fight on holidays. I've never seen a fight, but I've never seen a fight, Adrian, happening at 11 o'clock in the morning on the beach or by the pool. Why is that?
Because I don't know.
Just don't stop playing stupid. Because people are sober at that time. Drink causes people, and probably they're on the bag as well. I'd say those scumbags are on the bag. When you're on the bag, or you're knocking back, you're knocking back the booze, you're more likely to cause aggro, and that is the common denominator here.
Okay, so what would you say to Paul, for example? He says, I can easily drink 6 or 7 pints with no bother on me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there are people who can. There are people who have who can drink a fair few drinks and not fall all over the place.
By the way, I feel that because that's a place I go to quite a bit on the Costa del Sol. Was that Torremolinos or Benham?
Yeah, Torremolinos, yeah.
I'm actually embarrassed that an Irish family got arrested.
No, I'm embarrassed as well. It is.
The police coming
It's horrendous. But again, to be judging other parents based on this story from Torremolinos is ridiculous. It really is.
Adrian, you just know that family with the 7 kids now, you can just tell what they were like the next morning. Say the kids wanted to go to the water park. Oh, Mammy, Daddy, should we go to the water park? You just imagine them the next morning being like, oh, to go away. No, Mommy and Daddy's heads hurt. I'm like, why would you do that to the kids? Why would you actually do that to them? You've decided to ruin their trip because you wanted to get absolutely paralytic. No one is saying that you can't have a few drinks. No one's saying that you can't indulge. But for God's sake, stop taking turns.
But anything over 2 drinks and you're a scumbag parent. That's really what you're saying.
If you know your limit, fine, fair enough, don't go over it. That's what I'm saying. For me, I would have 1, 2 max. Especially if I had because I've so many kids, if I've had any nieces and nephews with me, I'd have 1 or 2, that's about it. Because God forbid something happens. But this whole thing of, we're going to take turns getting drunk, because that's okay. Or I'm going to go a little bit over the limit and it'll be fine. I'm going to go a little bit over my own limit, then I'll be all right. No, stop ruining the holiday for the kids. If you wanted to go and get drunk, should have gone on a no kids holiday.
Okay, stay there for a second. Let me bring in this WhatsApp voice note that's just come into us. And by the way, you can WhatsApp us on 085 825 2626.
Only a fucking idiot will say it's because of the drink they were fighting. I've been drunk many, many times over many, many years. Never once get into a fight because of drink. People who are going to get into a fight, they'll get into a fight regardless. Yes, the drink might lower their inhibitions, but if they're going to be out looking for trouble, they'll find it if they want it.
Opinions Matter. With Adrian Kennedy and Jeremy Dixon. A daily podcast from Ireland about opinions.
Big purchase on your mind? With Hum, you don't have to put it off. Because you can spread the cost with easy, flexible payments at thousands of stores. No hidden fees and no stress. It's simple. Apply online today at shophum.com and start shopping smarter. Hum. More life for your money. Flexify Europe Limited, trading as Hum, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Nolene, you're on Opinions Matter. How are you, Nolene?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, thanks, Nolene. What did you want to say on this?
I've brought my kids, my kids are all grown up, so they're able, look at some of them are able to drink with me, but when they were small, we took it in turns. And himself would have a few drinks and I wouldn't. Because you don't, we've been to Lou many times, and to see both parents, absolutely paralyzed. Kids running in and out, in by the pool, up in the elevator. Nobody knows, nowadays especially, when a child's going to be harmed. No way.
No, I agree, okay? And what you did when your kids were on holidays is you would have turns of having a few drinks, and that's fine.
Because we didn't go on holidays with the kids for ourselves. If I want to go away and have a session, I'll go away with himself or my sisters or with a group of people, adults, where I only have to look after myself. I won't certainly bring my granddaughter, who's 8 years old, with me on a session. That's technically what you're doing. You're bringing children on a session. You're ruining their holiday when it should be an enjoyable memory for them. Not a thing, I remember I was going to Salou one year and Mommy and Daddy were so drunk, they couldn't get up the following day to bring us to the water park.
Okay, so, and look, I'm not arguing the point that parents shouldn't be getting that drunk that they can't get up the next day, okay? What you did was the clever way. You'd have turns of having a few pints, and everything was grand. Now, Jess, you were...
it's not even on holidays, Ed.
Yeah, no, in general,
in general, you go down into any town on a Sunday there, or a Saturday evening, you will see both parents in pubs drinking. Kids running in and out pubs, it should be a rule that one parent is either semi-available to do anything if an accident happens, or completely sober.
Okay, now, Jess, you were saying that it is wrong to be even having turns drinking on holidays.
Why are we normalising one parent has the hangover and then the other one doesn't? Why are we Why are we normalising that?
Okay,
Why
Baba.
can't you both not just have a few and both be sober in the morning so you can both go to the water park? Why are we taking turns? Are you actually...
I'm going to get the mop chop now, guys, with the young lad. I'm highly medicated. It's early in the morning, early-ish. It's not early anymore. Going to get my haircut, guys, so I'll let yous go. And exactly, kick out all that scum, John. Nice one. Hammy, you've just made it in. I blazed up. Family day in the back garden. The sun's gonna break, I think. It's a bit overcast now, but I think it's gonna break. I checked the news. So, just a day at home, keeping the kids happy, keep myself happy. Play the guitar in a little while when I get back. So, Black Pepper, what's happening? I'm gonna come back on as soon as I'm back, really.
Pick. Why are we normalising it?
No, hold on now for 1 second. Don't come along now insulting people's choices, okay? I didn't insult anyone.
I think it's a stupid choice. I think these are ridiculous.
Well,
both of you be sober. How about that?
how about, it'd be better one be sober than both be drunk.
What?
How about that?
How about what? I didn't hear you.
I'll see you all later. Have a blessed morning. Try whatever it is, even if you're in the darkest fucking depressive, horrible fucking mood, which even I can be. All we can do is try. If you're not trying, I'm sorry, you're not trying hard enough. You're not doing enough. You have to try. You have to actually try. So I'm going to get my hair done. That'll make me feel better, won't it? So I'll see you all later. Have a great afternoon, honestly. Tune into Jude when he goes live. And, there's lots of good things coming from myself and him. All about love, respect,